Jason Gray paved the way, changed the rate, released the pain. Least Hussein getting paid, trend setting, brighter days, doper rap, tighter set, high and deadly, I'm a fighter jet, Jeremy.
Hello, everyone. It is the Major League Pod. I'm Rob Cameron, host of the MLW Confusion podcast. With me, as always, is El Megalito a la Mamacitas, Muffins Martinez. Muffins, how you doing?
I'm doing good, brother, man. Just getting ready for this cold weather and the snow to hit soon, man. I'm not ready.
Yeah. It's been we've had snow, like brief amounts for almost every day this week. It's just but it's always the temperature has increased enough so it always like it melted by like the end of the day and you wake up and it'd be covered again. But snow aside, it's December. And December is bringing big things for MLW in the form of One Shot coming up this here Thursday on Fight Plus. Last week, Fusion 193 was the go-home show. And I was really excited because they did a full episode of Fusion rather than the main event build episodes that they've done, which always, no offense intended, bore me to death. Since I pay attention so much to the product, it doesn't hype me up anymore. So I was just really excited just to have a full-on episode to go on into the go home show. So
and it was actually an hour-long show too at that.
An hour. Yeah, it was the longest show and like the longest Fusion, and I legit can't remember.
Time, yes.
I think since the last hiatus.
38 minutes. I'm like, what the hell is this shit? I want to know. I want an hour.
Like I'm that though this terrifies. I don't watch it on beIN Sports or any real television that they have. So I'm very curious to see how that gets cut for television because usually they have like the little television breaks built in, and that's why the episodes are 45 minutes or whatnot. So like that's understandable, and just we're spoiled by YouTube and whatnot. But so a lot went down. We had 4 matches plus a lot of stuff behind the scenes. So we're gonna hit up the highlights, starting with our opening contest, Thumbtacks Pit of Death. Jeff Cannonball, he's just Cannonball in MLW, takes on Jimmy Lloyd. I didn't think you'd like this match.
We could this whole go to the next day, man. That was horrible. That was horrible.
I'm going to say 2 things about this, and then we can move on. 1, the point of the match was to put your opponent into the pit of death, and they used the pit as a weapon, just a generic weapon, slamming each other into it. Like, why would you do that? Just chuck them into the pit. That's all you had to do. But couldn't do that. We had to do some low-high spots. 2, I will also point out that this is Jimmy Lloyd's first win in MLW, so he's at least on the leaderboard when he gets his title opportunity next week about Ricky Shane Page. I got a whole tirade about, especially this is a problem in pro wrestling in general, but the MLW is getting kind of has been bad about this, of guys who have no reason to challenge for a championship coming in and challenging for a championship. In the case of Lloyd, he was winless in MLW. So like under that logic, I don't see why I shouldn't get an MLW championship opportunity. I mean, I can challenge for the Overweight Championship. I can be dropped on my head by Alex Kane, challenge for the world title. I'm not going to say I'm going to win any of these things, but no stretch of the imagination. But like under that logic, I am just as worthy as Jimmy Lloyd to have a title opportunity.
Yes.
But that match aside, it was kind of a downer, and we can just move along on that. They had skipping down a bit. We did have a segment. They warned us about. They indirectly warned us about it last week during Mance Warner's kind of going away promo. We have the debut of Good Brother number three. He also likes to drink beer and wear jackets, though I'm a bigger fan of a plaid jacket than I am of whatever Mancer wears. So, are you as psyched about Good Brother number 3 as I am?
Is the way he talks, everything, and we know his Mancer. They did the Midnight Rider back in the day with Dusty Rhodes. They did this with Brian Pillman Jr. and the Yellow Dog outfit, looked like the bright yellow, and then he'll pull out his mask so everybody knew who he was. They did this with Doom. Yeah, man. What I don't understand what the point of this is, but sure.
The point is I love this. This entertains me to no end. I want him to form I want him to form a stable with the Yellow Dog, Mr. America. If I'm just going to name drop random folk, we got to get the hat out for this. Yellow Dog, Mr. America, Stagger Lee, Charlie Brown from out of town, just a big old stable of mass dudes. Heck, let's just even throw in Juan Cena, and I will just have a field day with this.
What about Fuego del Sol and Dust? Cody Rhodes.
Fuego Dos. Yeah.
Too fast and too whatever, and Fuego one and
Too Fast to Fuego. Is that what they call it?
Yes. Too Fast to Fuego. Yes. That was another one that should have been there.
But I mean, I'm down for it. I mean, we kind of called this going to happen. Like we said, one of two things were going to happen: either Mansoor's legit gone, or we're getting the mask gimmick brother. And we're getting the mask gimmick brother. And I love it. I love these stupid little masks gimmicks. I just hope it goes on long enough for them to like tell the story about it. Because like sometimes they don't tell the story long. Looking at Juan Cena, for example, we had like Juan Cena for like 2 weeks, and then bam, John's back. Like we gotta stretch this out a little bit. We gotta make sure we gotta have a handful of matches with knee pad up, knee pad down, etc. But yeah, so it looks like he's gonna fit in just fine with the second gear crew, and which is good, which takes the spotlight off of Manders. So, you know, multiple good things to come out of this.
For a while, I guess.
But so next match on the card was a triple threat tag team match. The main event taking on Austin Luke and Lucky 13 taking on Wasted Youth. That was batshit insane. Like it was chaos in the best way possible, just because bodies are everywhere. I thoroughly enjoyed it, of course. I mean, I'm peripherally familiar with Wasted Youth. I've seen some of their work. They put on like practically a match of the night in Beyond Wrestling a handful of months ago with Becca, and I can't remember who her partner was, but that match was amazing. And like they're young, so I think they'll improve their look if they stay together. But like that's the biggest thing I can fault them for. We've on this pod I've talked about kind of given the history of Lucky 13, so I'm glad to see him get some upper level indie notoriety finally too, outside of just like hiding in like not the shindies, but you know, a couple levels above that. And then of course we've not said enough good things about the main event, and I will say though, for this match, as much as I hate seeing the main event lose, like really any team winning was going to make me happy in the long run, because main event can go, Wasted Youth can go. I want to see Lucky get his flowers.
Yeah, I was very impressed with this match. I love this match. Like you said, main event, House of Glory tag team champions. I hate to see them lose, but I was happy somebody else did. Lucky 13, you had told me about him, and I'm glad I got to see him. And I want to see more of him, hopefully in MLW in the future. But Wasted Youth, love those guys. I've seen them before. Only thing is, they look like a younger version of the Moran brothers there from AEW, the Young Bucks. Like the same hairstyle, the same kind of look. But other than that, it's just high-flying things that I love. Car crash in between. I love what they did afterwards, and they did that last week, when they had an interview with at least one team in the ring or outside the ring. We got to learn a little more about Wasted Youth. And if this is the direction that MLW is going to 2024, I'm in for it. Like a youth movement and bringing in some guys and told those stories of guys like Gosselin and the other kid with PJ Crawford. If that's what we're doing, I'm all for it. I'm here for that.
Yeah, and all those gentlemen have been added to the roster page. I don't know if, but then again, I question the roster page because they still have guys that they've only had one match and then kind of disappeared.
Even Lucky 13.
I think him and Luke are the only ones that aren't on. But of the folks you originally mentioned, of Griffin, Notorious Goslin, and Wasted Youth have all been added to the roster page. Which again,
and I'm happy for that. If you're gonna add youth like that, guys that have been busting their ass, like you say, in the indies, Gosling has, the other kid has, and Wasted Youth has, and this is their cup of tea, first taste of coffee in a big place. hey, show them off, man. You know, you never know what it can lead to. But if this is the way they're going to get rid of the calling, all that nonsense, hardcore shit, and go back to what made MLW, hey, I'm down for it.
Yeah, and in addition to that, I'm hoping we see more of Lucky too.
Yes.
Again, not just because like he deserves his flowers, but he does like in terms of what MLW tries to promote in terms of style of like any match, anything can happen in any match. You want a high flying match? Great. You want a hardcore match? Great. You want a technical match? Great. Lucky can do them all. Like you were blown away by Akira. Like think Akira, except this guy can fly too. So he can and will go, get dirty and eat a light tube if he has to, but he can also break out a beautiful like shooting star press and whatnot.
Yeah,
so,
I'm definitely sold on Lucky 13. 13 is my number 2 because I was born on Friday the 13th. So hey, I'm down with Lucky. So hopefully, put a petition. Me and you can sign it. I don't know how many signatures we'll need, but hopefully to the start to MLW Corbauer. And Lucky 13 in here, bro.
But yeah, as you said, also with the youth movement coming in, like get these guys, get this core of youth in there, lock them down for get them a real contract for a couple of years, so that way they can form the basis of the future. So that way, if when we do shut down, say like the Calling, or Hammer actually leaves, or Fatu leaves, or any of these folk choose to move on, then you have this people who can and will stay on for a handful of years to just take that place. But we shall see how all this turns out. Following this, we get a brief match from the featherweights. We have Gia Scott taking on Zeta Steel. Good short match. Good short match, but really let's talk about the aftermath of this here match. Of course, Zeta won the match, and we were going to get an interview with Joe Dombrowski. However, we got some faux 80s synth pop blowing into the speakers, and one Mr. Saint Laurent comes down with the hype train. So it looks like. And by looks like, I mean it is. They signed the contract literally on MSL's back.
She did sign that, right?
Yep, right on his back. So WTF has moved on to the featherweights.
Hey, and what a way to start with a young, beautiful up-and-comer in Zeta Steel. Or I guess she's not using the steel here for now, but that's a nice group right there. What I want to say 1920. So she'll be there as some youth. Add some beauty to the division featherweight. They got Tiara James. I saw that they're bringing in again. The redhead from
Mimi.
Yeah, Mimi. I mean, Notorious Mimi. She's coming back this weekend or this week for another match for Fusion. They got Gia Scott coming. Hopefully we'll get to see her more of that of Gia. We still have the one half of the girls from Sea Stars, Delmi EXO. We still don't know anything about Becca, how long she's going to be under house arrest. So at least the females is flourishing. And we have 2 matches coming up on Thursday of female matches. So I'm definitely looking forward to this bout on Thursday.
Yeah, I'm just excited that they're getting a real division, because that's been kind of the bane of the featherweight since its existence, is that people would only come in for a taping, maybe 2, and then they would just disappear. So basically the division was just usually the champion and then maybe like 1 or 2 other folk that they bring in for a couple tapings, but not stay long term, which may be sad because the original batch of featherweights were bloody amazing. It still hurts me that they couldn't lock down Willow Nightingale.
Oh, yes. I was going to say that right now. They had a nice feud between Willow and Holidead there for a while.
Yeah, and it looked like Holidead was going to be the centerpiece of the division, and then her and the rest of the strange Sangre disappeared.
Yeah, and then we got freaking the defection or the firing of what was her name? Oh God, I forgot her name too. Johnny Mundo's wife.
Oh, Taya Valkyrie.
And they jumped on her quick. She came in and if they had any plans to give the belt to Holiday, that went down the drain because Talia took it over, and we know what happened after that. So.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm excited that they're it looks like they're going to get kind of a quasi-stable division around the featherweights. And they've got the young guns coming in with the Mimi, Tiara James, etc. And then bringing in like the hired gun of Janai Kai. Like she can go if Delmy sticks around. Obviously, she's already proved her stripes in MLW as well. And then of course, piggybacking off this, we have Becca, but we have the first acquisition into the featherweights from MSL's WTF, the World Titan Federation. So this kind of falls into the things I do enjoy about like a good stable. To me, should have representation in almost every division. Exactly. Like you look at like the Horsemen, you had someone doing the world title, you had someone doing either the television or US title, kind of just depending on what was more important at any given moment, and you had the tag team. And so I really like that in my stables, and now that women's wrestling, of course, is getting the respect it's deserving, we're getting that branching out. We have the easy branch out into the featherweight division here.
And you mentioned my favorite four horsemen: Rick Flair, the champion, Barry Windham, U.S. champion, RN Tully, tag team champions. Best formation of the horsemen ever.
Wow. So, I can't. That's my favorite formation of it.
Other than the original one, that was them. I never liked Luger and the team. I never liked them as a horseman.
Though I also have a soft spot for the Sid Vicious incarnation too.
Yes,
like
yes.
That I like that one as well.
I always see him more as a skyscraper with Danny Davis, because he was still going back and forth.
Yeah, right.
With Danny so I'm like,
Yeah, no, I get it, and like Sid is like hard pressed to like put down somewhere just because he traveled between the big two so much. Like he didn't stay almost more than like a year, maybe two at a time, between the Fed and WCW / N.W.A. But yeah, so my only thing is like I think this could have been a change of plans, but honestly, like given the gimmick, I think Becca would have worked better as the featherweight representation in MSL, since she is all about the showbiz glitz. Exactly. But she's under house arrest, so you can't really spring her out and hype her up too terribly much, and then do nothing with her. So maybe when she comes back, I don't know. We'll see if WTF is even still around by the time she's off house arrest.
Well,
I don't know how long it takes to make an album nowadays.
Well, the way that WTF is running along this year, they might be there, for a couple of months next year. So
yeah, I kind of feel we'll see how long. Well, I mean, they're still expanding, so obviously there's some plans in the interim, but we'll see like how well things go this coming week, and maybe that'll be kind of a barometer. Let me ask you a question. Do you think if Mark Cardona decides to leave, you think that they'll fold because they don't have that star power with Cardona, or do you think they'll keep going? I think they'll keep going, but I think it will definitely run out of steam sooner than later. Like, yes, Cardona isn't necessarily like the on-screen workhorse of the team. Like, he's doing a bang-up job in MLW, but he's everywhere. So he's obviously not, doing things every week in person-ish. But
I'm actually beginning to like him too, man. No lie. He's kind of growing on me now with the matches that he's having. And then, like you said, the dude pops up at GCW last night. Then he goes to Japan like next week. This dude's everywhere. Yeah,
he is the definition of hustle and grind right now. But without him, I definitely see WTF kind of running out of some steam without like a good, like, we'll call it entertainment crown jewel, because the entire point of WTF isn't the 5-star matches. It's about, the like 80s WWF kind of thing. And like no one epitomizes that more right now really than Matt Cardona. And so without him, I definitely think WTF takes a hurting. I mean, I will probably still find them entertaining because I do still enjoy Alex Hammerstone and I love me some Tom Lawler. Yep. But I don't know if they are a good, like, I just it's not WTF without someone like a Cardona in there. That's just kind of my opinion on it. But that doesn't mean just because I don't think it should doesn't mean it could go on for like 5 years without Matt Cardona. And it's just they've already had a high amount of turnover anyway with Davey Boy Smith being out, which that no one was going to control that. And then it looks like Snitsky's back out of the picture as well. So like the original incarnation, despite like how terrifying that would have been on paper, has already cycled through. So that definitely comes into one shot. And I know you don't like doing like prediction shows, but this is the main event. Do you think Cardona's going to walk out with the title?
The way that they've been building this up, I wouldn't be surprised if he does. To be honest with you, I mean, you never say never, but the way how things have been going the last couple of months, I do not see him not walking away with the title.
Yeah, for me, I'm surprised that they waited this long to pull the trigger. Like, I mean, well, if we go back in the episodes, like I was calling it like in October, they're gonna put the title on him at Slaughterhouse. They're gonna, but they're waiting to really put the Mance Warner thing behind them. But I figured they were gonna hotshot him to the title sooner than later, just because he's the biggest star.
Trying to build up Kane with good matches. I mean, he's had some good matches last couple of months here, especially the last one this past month with Fatu. So
yeah, I mean, I would like Kane to hang on to the belt because I am a fan of like 6-month title reigns or so.
Yeah.
But like,
I mean, it'll be 6 months now.
Has it? When was he won it? What, like the first big event?
Yeah,
so that would be like October.
So this is going to be the 5th one now.
Yeah, it'd be like month like number 5.
Yeah, so this is summer. 5th month. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not not bad, but like this is just me playing EWR, which for the record I was terrible at that game and probably still am. Just haven't played it in forever. But I blame the WWE signing up all my talent. Of course, I guess Court Bauer blames the WWE for signing all of his talent too. But yeah, digressing. Yeah, so I do think Cardona's walking out with the title, and for me, the biggest surprise is that they waited this long. And it's like what we kind of like said about the calling. For a stable to really have that you have to do one of two things. That's wreck everything, or take titles. And WTF really hasn't been wrecking a whole lot of things, which, I mean, that's fair. That doesn't really suit their gimmick as glitz and glamour of the 80s. But, which means we need to go the alternate route and get a title. And they really haven't done any, title focusing except for Cardona and Kane. So we'll see how that goes. So that will be Thursday. Let's
get back to the episode, because I think we left like 10 minutes ago to talk all that stuff.
We've gone all over the place in the meanwhile.
Bring it
back. Yeah. Main event. 6-man tag team action.
Yes.
WTF versus the Bomayes. Josh Bishop, the newbie of the WTF faction, Alex Hammerstone, and Tom Lawler taking on the combination of Mr. Thomas, the big bad Kaiju, O'Shea Edwards, and Jay Bougie. What did you think, Muffins?
That Mr. Thomas got abused a lot. I think that Bougie and the other guy were not ready for this type of main event yet. Like you could see, I don't know. I just didn't like feel like the match was like all there. Like if I was just a casual fan, this match was perfect. It did its job, but watching them more in detail, you could see the Bougie and the other guy weren't too ready for this type of match. And Thomas, who, as we know, is limited in the ring, took more the abuse than anybody else. So,
see, I thought, just to kind of not to cut you off, but I thought Bougie took most of the damage. Like I thought he was kind of the whipping boy, rather than Mr. Thomas. But
then Thomas, he's also limited. Yeah. So he's not like wow, all polished. All three were not like that. So and then you have him go up against another guy who's not polished yet in Bishop. But then you got two other guys who are in, Hammerstone and Lawler. That was just a big mismatch when it came to in-ring talent. On paper, it looked good, but you could see the difference in in-ring talent when they actually got into the matches or the match started. And you can you could see the disparity between both teams inside the ring. So, other than that, I mean, it did its job. They got their asses whooped. With the WTF won, Kane came out. He got whooped. They did the whole break apart thing. Then Kane went and started destroying everybody. They had everybody who worked in MLW in the ring out there, trying to break and hold back everybody in. So it did its job to kind of put something there for Thursday. Cardona came out, so all the players were involved in this little segment. So it gets you ready for Thursday night.
Yeah, I definitely think this match was meant to succeed on the storyline front. It was not meant to be a 5-star classic, anything like that. And partially for the reasons you said, but like for me, looking at it and playing armchair booker, two things, well, maybe more. We'll see how bad I rant with this. But some things that like I didn't like, or that like I would have changed, is that like I felt that the Bomayes as a faction overall really come off as Alex Kane and friends to begin with. Yes, Mr. Thomas has been there from the beginning, but he's almost been more of a hype man manager type. Like, how many matches has he had in MLW? Like, handful, like maybe a single handful of matches. Like he is really not known as an in-ring competitor for MLW. And then the faction is rounded out by Jay Bougie, who has a world of talent and, as proven in this match, has a bunch of heart. But he really hasn't proven himself in the MLW ring quite yet either. And then the third person in there is O'Shea Edwards, who is freaking amazing. But did he even get a tag? Like they didn't let him in the match at all. So like we didn't get to so I don't like nobody got to see what he is capable of. Like that dude actually specializes in hoss fights. Like there is no reason why he shouldn't have been like front and center in the camera during like the hot tag or something of the like, mixing it up with either Bishop or Hammerstone. Because I mean the whole guy's gimmick is death to fake heavyweights. And you know, we had a team that 2/3 of the team were fake heavyweights. Well, okay, they're not really fake. They're dudes like north of 250 pounds. But like, you know, we could have had the faux hoss fight in there, and we didn't get it. And like fact, like I don't think Kaiju even got tagged in at all. So like that's also like a weird booking like snafu.
But you look at the Bomaye club. Other than Kane, like who else is like the forefront there? You need somebody like Myron Reed. When Myron was there, he would have been perfect for this match because at least you got somebody else of star power quality to go against WTF. You got three guys who don't have that type of
and haven't been positioned to do it like that. So and it's not even like their own fault. They've just never been positioned to do that. Just because O'Shea is like pretty much just showed up and like hasn't had a singles match. I think he's had one televised match. And that was the scramble match 2 months ago. Yeah. And again, and then Bougie's story again is he's the scrappy underdog. Yeah. And then and then we talked Thomas in detail. And then the other team is, as you put it, we got two former MLW heavyweight champions, and then a guy that all needs proving. So honestly, I think for overall storytelling, they should have let Bishop and go nuts with either Edwards or Bougie, just so we could get accustomed to them and also see what they all can do and why they deserve to be in that spot. Because again, yes, storyline wise, the Bomaye WTF should be fighting each other, but again, why in ring should we care all that much when especially on the Bomaye's front, for the most part, they've not done a great job of building up the faction as a full-on faction rather than Alex Kane and cheering section, which makes me sad because Thomas, for his limitations, is an excellent role player. O'Shea Edwards is an amazing big man when given the opportunity, and Jay Bougie has shown that at least for the time being, he is the epitome of plucky underdog or plucky little guy who's willing to put his body on the line for his team. And instead, basically what we got was a 10-minute beatdown from the WTF.
What's the girl's name who always comes out with them? Faye Jackson, right?
I never learned. Is it Faye? I never learned her name.
Her name just popped up in my head. Faye Jackson. She doesn't even work at MLW, but she's always there, leading the charge for them coming out. And she's always the only one left with Thomas outside the ring, always there, like a valet. But you never hear her name being mentioned. Okay, so what's the point of you always having Faye Jackson there when you don't even name drop her at all or anything? Nobody knows who the lady is half of the time.
Yeah, we have a bunch of folks who can go or important parts of the group, but yet we don't know why they get to hang with the big boys per se, because they haven't been given the opportunity.
You have the Bomaye female on the featherweight division. Boom, right there. Like you said, you have a faction. You have a female that fits into the featherweight. She should be in the featherweight, but nothing, nada. Yeah. Sip. But she's part of Bomaye with a bunch of a bunch of other cheerleaders.
Yeah. So that, those were my biggest complaint. The biggest complaints about the main event is that really it was almost more of a showcase for WTF than it was anything else, because they haven't established the rest of Bomaye as in-ring threats whatsoever.
And then make Kane look good at the end, where he takes out Cardona and anybody else, clears the ring, and now he's standing tall inside the ring, screaming Bomaye.
Yeah. So. So despite the complaints about that, I did enjoy the match itself, but these are just the little things that annoy my smart little brain. And overall, I enjoyed the episode.
But would have been perfect to close the show out. Don King comes out and goes a tough suicida out from the ring outside, dude, right there. The place would have exploded. Fade out the show. See you Thursday. You'll be more views in on Thursday's show. I'm just saying.
I mean, if they have Don King on retainer, like they said, they should use him more just in general. If we're going to get on the topic of Don King, yes, he managed to come back, but I'm still pretty sure they just spent one day taping him and then just respliced it over and over again. Because even when they're hyping the last match, and they had King come in for it, there was nothing in there that identified what match he was talking about. He was just doing the next match with my boy Alex Kane. He's going to show the world what he can do. Yes, the next match. It'd be awesome if that next match.
He'll be there Thursday. It'll be awesome. There's Don King here. What? Don King, you see, really Don King, not AI, not a poster of him or anything like that. In real life, Don King. Yeah, that right there would be awesome. But hey,
yeah, I don't know the finances of MLW. I don't know how much money King's getting paid for, and I really, honestly, don't know his health status for him to even do anything like that anymore. Yeah. He looks terrible. I mean, no offense intended. I mean, he's
97.
He's. Well, not everybody can be Betty White.
Dude, he's 97 years old. Dude, how he's supposed to look at 97?
Betty White.
Alive. He still has a pole. That's all that matters.
Yeah. But yeah. So I mean, I don't know if he can travel, but if we're gonna name drop him and use him, let's utilize him a bit better and actually have him name drop people coming up. But Alex Kane's gonna mop the floor with you, Matt Cardona. Have him say something like that instead of just say the next match. Cool. Who's in that next match, Don? Was this filmed in August? But whatever. We're diatribing again. without the hat, which is the biggest crime of this all. The important thing is that we had like a full real episode of Fusion leading into the big event, and the big event is on a Thursday this time around. So I'm curious to see like where the numbers are on that, whether it's better for MLW to run a big event on Thursday in lieu of Fusion, or if it'd be better for them to do Saturday. I mean, for me personally, selfishly, Thursdays work great because I'm already doing the Fusion stuff anyway. So yeah, it just works perfect. I already have my Thursdays blocked
when I could say Saturday, I could think it's the 9th, but it could say Thursday. I'm like, Thursday. I said, really? So the guys are going to do the live show pay-per-view on Thursday. I'm like, hey, I'm not mad at it. I mean, if they went to some system impact out. I'll be all every Wednesdays. That'll be also 2 hours. Hey, I'm done with that. Hey, it worked for N.W.A back then, 2001 when it started, or whatever, 2002. They could do it.
Nope, I'm down with it. I was just more curious to see what the numbers will turn out like if more people would watch on a Saturday rather than the Thursday. So it works better for me personally, but then, whatever, man.
It was Wednesdays.
Yeah,
$9.95 every Wednesdays. I was paying.
Yep.
Nothing better to do.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, and this wonderful day and age, there's wrestling on every night of the week in one way, shape, or form. Even if you're not a fan of WWE or AEW, which this is how you get spears thrown out at you, ladies and gentlemen, by not caring about either of those.
You see it 3 times a week from both companies: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Wow. But so we got a solid card shaping up for Thursday. As I said, I thought overall, despite some of the nitpickings, it was a good episode because again, once again, they continue the trend of just things just moving along, bang, bang, bang. We always keep going for this. So yeah, I am definitely psyched to see what's coming up Thursday. Really excited to see how this title match goes and to see the potential fallout from it. Just either where do we go if Cardona loses, but also what's the story with Cardona winning and what's the story with Kane losing, if that's what's coming out too. So very curious to see what's coming out of that. So we shall see. So I think we've covered about everything we need to cover. In the meanwhile, of course, the usual: hit like, hit subscribe, hit those noti buttons if you're on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, you can catch us on Spotify or wherever else that this thing may pop up. Of course, follow us on the social medias at Urban Wrestle NW. You can follow me at the Nova of Cass for almost all that good stuff. MLW Confusion drops every Friday morning, usually right after the night of Fusion. You still doing 10 pounds a pod?
Yes, sir.
So we got 10 pounds a pod every week coming out too. So,
yes, sir.
So we may not be a WWE or AEW and doing every night of the week, but man, some combination of the two of us is almost every night of the week. Yes. So get your fix of muffins, get your fix of Cass. Of course, once again, like, subscribe, comment. Forgot to mention comment as well. All that good stuff. And in the meanwhile, we'll catch you all next week.